who leaves the baby outside? I don't know. The person who killed 4 people probably wasn't thinking I should take the kid.
Yeah.
Need to find a hot car to leave it in.
Yeah, this is
it's a weird story.
It's going to be they're going to find this guy.
Yeah.
They're
they found that
him.
guy that killed those hikers.
Dude, that is a terrible story.
I never got what happened with that hiker thing.
This couple and their 2 young daughters had just moved to Arkansas 2 weeks prior for teaching jobs.
Yeah.
And they were hiking in a place called Devil's Den, which is northwest Arkansas. It's beautiful.
All 4 of them?
All 4 of them.
Okay.
The daughters watched their parents get murdered. And they arrested a suspect. I believe they arrested him yesterday.
Yeah.
And he, too, is a teacher.
Yeah,
apparently.
he's a teacher.
Is there a motive for him doing it?
They haven't said.
No, and that's what I was like. My first thought is they arrested him like at a convenience store or something.
Yeah, he was at a barber shop.
Or what? Yeah, because it was like they showed the CCTV, and I'm thinking, that guy killed because he just looks like a little wiry guy.
Yeah.
But again, what's the motive?
Right.
Did you know them? Is there a love triangle or? You start
when you hear that they were all 3 teachers, it kind of makes you think there was a connection there somewhere.
But then at the same time, they just moved there. So did he follow them or was he
just there laying in wait? Waiting to kill somebody? Anybody?
Yeah.
How old were the daughters? Do you remember?
7 and 9, I believe.
They survived, right?
Yeah, they weren't harmed.
That is awful. People are wackadoos, and this person had killed 4. How far away was it from?
You're talking about another story.
Yeah,
this one
the
in
other
Tennessee.
Yeah,
yeah. The 4 bodies. So they found the abandoned infant, and then 4 bodies were discovered after they found the infant. The bodies were found 40 miles away in a neighboring county.
Man,
and they've identified the 4 bodies as the mother and father, a grandmother, and an uncle of the infant.
That's just awful. Absolutely.
And they think there was just one killer involved?
Well, they've only identified one suspect.
Okay.
So, and they said that the stabbings in the Devil's Ridge or whatever it is, it seems to be just random.
Devil's Den, yeah.
Devil's Den. It's like random. Like, what goes into somebody's mind is where you're like, you're going to go where? You're going to go to the woods and attack random people and kill them for what reason?
Yeah. His arrest photo, man, he doesn't look like he's
all there.
He's well.
These are the kind of crimes that back in the 70s and 80s you would hear about once a decade.
Yeah.
And they'd scare the daylights
absolutely.
out.
Like who was the guy in Atlanta that was convicted of killing all those young boys?
I remember those.
Oh, was it Ray? John Ray?
I got to look at that.
But that story was so shocking at the time, and now you seem to hear about these stories like once every 3 months.
Yeah. And not everybody's sure that he did it. Like all of them. They think maybe he killed some. But, yeah, that was a big deal. 30. Yeah, Wayne Williams.
Yeah, Wayne Williams.
That guy
I remember that. I remember that on the news.
The news, because it was because it happened over like a two-year period.
Yes.
So it was almost like one a month.
Yes.
Which was shocking. And same thing, but like with Richard Ramirez too, kind of thing, because it happened in such a short period of time, and it was such high profile. But
in terms of profiles, serial killers don't usually kill that often. They will kill and go quiet and kill and go quiet.
Yeah,
and he was just out there
over and over and over. And then the question was, did he kill a few of them? But did he know the real murderer? And did he copycat and talk about stuff?
29 African-American children. 29.
Yeah.
And he was a black man himself.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Which is another anomaly for serial killers.
They don't, yes, yeah.
And it was easier back then to be a serial killer, too. I mean, you didn't have cameras everywhere.
And you didn't have DNA.
No DNA.
I mean, how are they catching all these serial killers now? Because somebody's great niece wants to get a DNA test and they trace it back to a murderer.
Yeah.
Crazy. Coming up. We have a little crossover coming up in a little while. I did see them out there talking. They were talking about Israel. All of them were over there talking about that. And I'm like, I'm staying out of that because I already get yelled at.
They weren't talking about tariffs?
Yeah, no. That's just you and I. That's all we do here. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. It's Thursday. We talk tariffs.
With the president of Mexico, which the president says was constructive, means that it would stay status quo for the next several months while negotiations continue. But it's still a high tariff, 25% on those goods not covered by the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Free Trade Agreement, and still that 50% tariff on steel and aluminum imports. But the conversations will continue. The president's still pushing Mexico to do more on the border.
Oh, sorry. I get so excited for tariffs. Sometimes I yawn. There you go.
Man, you shouldn't be making fun of this. If we end up putting tariffs on Mexico, you know what my tequila is going to cost me?
A lot. You're going to have to start making it your own again.
It's like, what am I going to do for guacamole?
Oh, that's right. Do you remember the word of the Super Bowl? Chuck Schumer's all, and next week the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Nobody's going to have guacamole, and it's all Trump's fault. He's such an idiot. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, man.
Who are you people? You ever just, because I've met a lot of politicians, and I don't have politicians on the show. We tried to have Burchett on a couple weeks ago, and he totally ghosted us. Right? So that was it. If you're running for re-election, I like you, Tim, but you're not coming on. And we've had Afton on because she'll come in, right? We had Sapecki?
Scott Sapicki.
Yeah, that guy.
He's House Education Subcommittee chair.
Yeah, he is. He's very excited about cell phones and whatnot. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, Scott's actually...
He's a very nice guy.
He's a very nice guy, and he's very focused on his job.
All about education.
Yeah, he really does care about that, and he does his best, I think, to represent his constituents in the way that they would want him to.
Which is what it's all about. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So, and the tariffs, all of these things, take them with a grain of salt because tomorrow tariffs are supposed to be in, and they may go in, they may not. Then it could be next Tuesday, and then it's tomorrow, and then it's 6 months from now, but then Trump announces on a Wednesday, screw it, we're putting them on now. You don't know until it actually affects you. And some of these things will, if fully put in place, because not everything is signed, sealed, and delivered. A lot of it is headlines and no details outside of what the headline is. Because then, you go out, you make the announcement, everybody's like, yay, we agreed on something, and then you let the muckety-mucks work on it, if you will. The muckety-mucks. By the way, that Wayne Williams guy, the Atlanta child murderer, he was a radio guy.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Was he a jock?
I think he was a reporter.
Oh.
No, he was I think he was a reporter, if I'm right. I think that's what he was. I was like, oh, God, that guy killed. It's just, they closed every case except for, no, it looks like they closed 1, 2, 3 of the cases have not been resolved. 3 of them.
The Williams?
Yep.
Wow.
And
so that just means they haven't found enough evidence to tie him to them.
Yeah. Oh, they suspect. Well, yeah. One of them is asphyxiation. They've got the body. One, they don't have the body. You can't. It's hard to convict somebody of murder without the body. Without because how do you know that person's dead?
Did he get the death penalty or
no? He got 2 life terms with the possibility of parole.
But he died in prison, didn't he?
No, he's still alive.
Is he?
Really?
Yeah. And they've done several shows about him and whether or not he committed all of these murders, because not all of the families thought he did. So they've reopened investigations in a lot of different things. There was also reports that there was some white supremacists, some KKK people that had done some stuff. But I don't know. They think he did some, but did he do them all?
So he was only sentenced for the murders of 2 adult men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They closed the other case because there's no reason to try him because he's going to jail.
Right.
But if you think about this, it's Atlanta. It's the late 70s, early 80s or whatever it was. You've got, kind of like with the Son of Sam, it's the world's looking at you and you're holding press conferences for another body found in the river or somewhere. And everybody's breathing down your throat. And then you get somebody, you kind of want to close it to make the pressure on you to make it look like you've solved it.
Well, and I guess the child murder stopped.
And because everybody, he's attributed to child murders, but you go and look, a lot of them were late teens into their 20s.
Yeah.
So, but it was a horrible situation. It was just I remember as a kid, like that's one of the few things that I remember, like news stories, like then.
I remember that. I remember the plane crash in the Potomac.
Oh yeah, the guy jumping in.
Yeah, the guy jumping in, saving that woman. I remember that. The gas lines. Do you guys remember the gas lines?
Oh God, yeah. I remember that. I remember the Iran hostage crisis.
Yes.
I remember that. And it was, you remember some stuff so vividly. Elvis dying, I remembered.
Yeah.
I remembered, I was like, because I was with my great grandmother and I kind of knew who Elvis was, but I didn't really know who Elvis was. So it's not like Puff the Magic Dragon died. I don't remember that. I would have. So, but you remember some of those things. And I remember distinctively about this because it was such top of mind.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, because it was terrible. It was terrible. And I think you're right. I mean, how many serial killers how would you even try to do it today with all of the technology and cameras?
Yeah, they do. What, the Gilgo Beach killer? He actually carried his out before the advent of cameras everywhere.
Yeah, therein lies the problem is a lot of these people that they're catching now.
They're linking them with DNA.
They're linking them with DNA, but they did their murders for many, 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 many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be weird too. Like some of they caught that guy, like a guy in California who had killed a whole bunch of people, and it was a DNA test.
Oh, and he was like, oh.
And he's just a regular dude at this point. He hadn't killed anybody in 40 years.
Yeah.
He's just a regular guy. How do you live with that?
I don't know, man.
It's like, I remember, one of the stories I remember as a kid was the guy they thought was Ivan the Terrible. Do you remember him? And he was a retired auto worker. And they thought he ran Treblinka and killed all these Jews and did all of these things. And I remember, and I was thinking, God, if that's true, though, how do you live with yourself just going to work every day as if it's no big deal?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like the BTK killer.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, everybody just thought he was a family man.
Yeah. It's so weird. And then I remember the kid that got kidnapped that made Walsh so big. Was it Adam?
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, Adam Walsh.
Adam
and they found
Walsh.
his head in a canal.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was so terrible.
I remember watching the Bundy trial on TV.
Yeah. Do you remember I remember when he escaped. Do you remember when he attacked those girls in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, and I was in England for the whole, they had a serial killer and that guy was crazy. It just, the whole, like they dug up his house and he had bodies everywhere and he had done it for years.
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy was another one of those. Gacy was, I remember that too.
Gacy was framed, man. The clown wouldn't do that.
Clown would never do that. Never do that. So it was just the whole, but there's some things that stick with you when it comes to news stories. It's like, I'm sure all of us remember where we were on 9/11. And if you're old enough, where you were when the shuttle blew up, the first one, where you were when,
the Columbia came apart.
I was at Disneyland. I remember that. But
were you seriously?
Yes, I was. I'm like, oh, well, yuck. And then, but I remember when if you're old enough, you remember, obviously, Kennedy. I remember watching Reagan get shot, which was just weird.
I remember I was in the 7th grade. I was in English class, and the principal came over the intercom, announced the president has been shot. And some of the kids in the class cheered, and boy, the teacher did not like that.
Whoa.
She shut that down in a hurry.
Why would they cheer?
I guess they heard their parents, and they didn't like Ronald Reagan.
They're in a Democrat household.
Or did they think it was the president of the school who was not letting them have all the free popsicles they dreamed of? You promised me popsicles, and this tariff are crushing my soul. So, yeah, I remember going into my mom because I was sick, and I said I stayed home twice when I was a kid when I was really sick. One was when, the space shuttle blew up. And, God, how tough would that have been? I remember kids telling me, because they were watching it.
Yeah, I watched it.
At school.
I was in college, and I was in my dorm room when it happened. I watched it happen, and this is going to sound terrible, but I remember talking to my roommate and before the launch, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be crazy if that thing just blew up on the pad?
Wow. So you did it.
No, I didn't do it. It didn't blow up on the pad, but to watch that thing go off into space and then, blow up in the sky.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't mean it, God. I wasn't requesting anything.
I just remember Christy McAuliffe and all of that stuff. And I remember them walking and
smiling.
And imagine what her class was going through.
Yeah.
Hey, we're starting to get complaints on the text line that we're not talking about tariffs.
Yeah, shut up, Jason. I thought I tune in here for tariffs. Well, don't worry. Matt's going to have a lot of tariff talk. He told me it's all tariff all day.
Yeah, it's going to be about 4 hours worth of
4 hours of tariffs. Maybe some boring of the boring company. Because now that they've got, do they have a staging place?
Yeah, they've been approved for a staging place, a lot downtown to stage all the construction materials they're going to need. And by God, Democrats don't like it. They do not like it.
Is that going to be where the ending point of the tunnel is?
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, man, I don't know. Get somebody on the line. We need to find this out immediately. This is big news. Really? I don't know. Well, maybe. It could be.
It'll be big news when they start digging the tunnel.
Once they go into the thing, like the movie The Core, then it is. Have you guys ever seen it? He has this little spinny thing, and they all drive in it, and it's unobtainium. Hillary Swank, I see you. Oh, the crossover, right? The welcome mat. It's happening
the welcome
next.
Mat.
With our man, Matt Murphy. It is the Chad Benson Show. Friday Eve. Little Friday. Friday light. I didn't do that. He did. By the way, he's also pissed off a few people with horrible sex jokes about the Boy Scouts.
So I find it curious that Bel K comes at you and tells you this cute little story about how he got bullied for lunch money at school.
He did?
But he did not have any lunch money at school because he was saving his money to join the ABBA fan club.
Correct.
To which I say, as I'm driving in my automobile on the way to work, and he wonders why he was bullied at school?
I don't think he came out of the closet. You didn't come out of the...
I think it's kind of... I think you're kind of asking for it.
Did anybody know that you were an ABBA fan?
Some people, like the friends I had that were into music with me, like there was one guy who was a friend of mine that he was like my concert buddy. We would go to all the concerts together, and he knew.
Did you have any friends in school at that time that were fans of good music?
Well, that's not very nice. ABBA's phenomenal. You can't sell that many albums and not be liked.
I try not to make matters of taste matters of fact.
I heard that on your promo.
That's a good saying, Brother
I have
Murphy.
said that for a long time. And you know what? To each their own. And for you ABBA lovers in the world, congratulations.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
More ABBA for you because I'm not going to be there with you.
No, you're not.
I suppose that's a bigger portion for you.
You liked my Dan Mandis Conway Twitty response, though, didn't you?
That was good. Did you see Dan Mandis in his Conway Twitty hair?
No, he's got Conway Twitty. That's
so we were
awesome.
talking yesterday, and I thought it was a point of common knowledge that Conway Twitty wore a toupee, and apparently that's not.
No.
But yes, Conway Twitty wore a toupee, and I'm not.
Really?
Yes.
That thing should have come with a chin strap.
Man, that was a heck of a toupee.
I mean, it was it was something. But no, that's a toupee. That's a toupe.
Yeah. I don't think it was toupee his entire life, but it was definitely toupeed towards the end. Maybe even got some of those hair things, those hair plugs.
And yeah, so if you want, my favorite joke involves Conway Twitty. I mean, it's the old preacher joke. But the preacher that moves into town, he looks exactly like Conway Twitty. And he's going around town asking people to come join the church Sunday morning. And he goes to knocks on the door. A little old lady comes to the door. And she goes, oh, my goodness, it's Conway Twitty right here on my front porch. He goes, no, ma'am, I'm not Conway Twitty. I'm just a new preacher in town. I'm inviting you to come on down to the Baptist church. And then he goes to the next house, and it's a good old boy in overalls. And he comes to the door, Lord have mercy, I can't believe it. It's Conway Twitty as I live. No, sir, I'm just a new reverend in town, and I'm just asking you to come down to the Baptist church. And he gets to another house, and he knocks on the door, and this gorgeous, just smoking hot Sydney Sweeney type chick with nothing but a towel comes to the door. And she goes, well, as I live and breathe, it's Conway Twitty. And he says, hello, darling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's my Conway Twitty.
See the way that works, kids?
Anyway, so what'd you guys talk about today?
Oh, nothing.
Tariffs.
No, that's it. Tariff talk first.
Tariff talk.
Tariffs in Israel. That was it.
Titillating tariff talk.
Titillating tariff talk.
On Super Talk 99.
Followed by Israel, followed by more tariff talk. Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
I'm going to try to talk, for those that are tired of listening to it, I'm going to try to talk less about the tunnel today. I'll try to abate my excitement. I'm still excited about it. I still think it's great. I think it's everything that we want in a self-serving society. It's a free market solution to an issue that people think that is a problem. Is it the total solution? Of course it's not the total solution. Will it work? It's not my money. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
The people spending the money better make sure it works.
I didn't have a chance to hear yesterday. What the structural engineer guy say?
He said that you'll have trouble. You'll have trouble keeping water out because limestone allows water to leach. But then he said, but I went on their website and it looks like they've solved that.
We'll find out.
And I was
Did
like,
he
well,
say
okay.
how?
Well, I mean, the tunnels are waterproof.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay.
good at it. They don't just drill a hole and then just put a road and nothing else.
Good luck.
I've seen video of tunnels being
They've
built.
got the whole thing surrounded. It's kind of like a pipe.
He was kind of curious about, and I didn't have any answers, and nor did he. He was curious about how they did ventilation.
Yeah.
He said you've got to have ventilation shafts, and you're obviously going to have some sort of easement or right of way for ventilation shafts. But
Well, I'm
he's
sure
curious
it
about
works
that.
because they've done it elsewhere, and I haven't heard a lot of people dying in these places.
Yeah.
Like we built this tunnel, and everybody goes in there dies.
For me, the biggest thing, and I know I've probably talked about it more than anybody, but I mean, for me, it's exciting, it's futuristic, but the most confusing aspect of this, it seems to me, for the listener, is wait a minute, they're just going to let Teslas drive down there? Well, yeah, but not yours. And none of your vehicles are going to be able to go into this tunnel.
Yeah.
The tunnel is only going to serve tunnel-based vehicles that are all going to be Teslas because the guy that owns the company that bores the hole also owns a company called Tesla.
I don't know why they don't just make it like a thing where they have a whole bunch where you just hop on it and just go right on down.
I thought that too. It's like, why don't they just make it like literally a tram?
That would be great.
I mean, and just, you hop on and then it slows down to a crawl and you can jump off.
There you go. I love
Yeah, I'd
that.
be
That's a
fine with
better idea. We're going to do that. Hey, guess who's up? We've just done the welcome, Matt. And Matt is here, and he's going to talk about serious stuff. He almost promises we didn't do it, and we won't do it again tomorrow.
Yikes.
Yes. Hey, happy Friday light, guys.